Hello, today I'm going to show you guys a quick little 10 to 15 minute vinyasa to use as a cool down or a warm up before or after a workout to kind of get your heart rate nice and slow and ready to go. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and turn my side, and we are going to start in what's called easy pose. So just go ahead and cross your legs, and you can either set your hands on your knees or you can bring them together in heart center. And we'll sit here for a moment and we will let our eyes close to clear our minds and get ready for the rest of the sequence. I always like to sit in an easy pose before and at the end of a vinyasa to kind of use that time to meditate a little, calm down the mind, and either prepare for a sequence or let my mind calm down after. It's always kind of nice just to focus on the breath. So we'll take about 2 more rounds of breath here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We'll go ahead and sigh it out. That helps relieve any kind of anxieties or stress that you may or may not have going on in your mind or body. So go ahead and open your eyes. We'll go ahead and unbind our hands from each other. And we'll go ahead and tuck our left leg under our right, folding so that our left foot is up against our sit bone. We'll bring our right foot over top. This is Lord of the Fishes. We'll go ahead and bring our elbow to the outside, our left elbow to the outside of the right knee, and bring our right hand behind us. You can either push your fingertips into the ground or let your hand rest completely on the ground. And this is a nice little spinal twist. So we'll go ahead and breathe here for about 3 breaths. Taking that last exhale, we'll go ahead and slowly unwind, letting our fingertips wiggle just a little bit as we go ahead and switch sides. And now the right foot will be coming in to sit next to the left sit bone. Right, or our left leg is folded over top of our right, bringing the right elbow to the outside of the left hand and fingertips to the ground behind us, twisting our back, opening our hearts, fingertips spread wide, and giving ourselves a nice little spinal twist here. Again, starting to wiggle our fingers, we'll go ahead and unwind. Slowly wrap your feet around your hips, bringing yourself up into a tabletop position. So in yoga, we follow the breath and use the asanas or postures, poses as kind of a decoration for the breath. So as we open up, we'll be taking inhales, and as we draw in, we take exhales. So we're going to be doing some cat-cows, and for a cat-cow, you want to start on an inhale, breathing out, pushing into the ground, and opening up your neck, opening up your heart, raising your head slightly, gazing up just ever so slightly. Inhaling here, taking a breath, 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 here. And as we exhale, we will round our backs upwards, like an angry cat, pushing into the ground with our hands or fingertips, keeping our cores engaged. This is cat pose. We'll go ahead and do this 2 more times. So on an inhale, scoop down, come up, come back up into cat. And exhale down into cat. Before we were in cow, I apologize. Taking a quick breath here, we'll do it one more time. So inhale, scooping up into cow, arching our back the opposite way and kind of sucking our belly button in so that we feel like it's kind of pulled back to the spine. And exhale into cat. From here, we'll go ahead and we'll raise our left hand up towards the sky on an inhale, and exhale, thread it down and under our right arm. This is thread the needle. The main focus here is getting a nice little stretch in your spine while engaging the core and remembering to not let this hip, the left hip, sink down into the right thigh. So you want to be cognizant of that. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And on an inhale, because we're opening up, we'll go ahead and raise our left hand up towards the sky. Exhale, drop it back down to the floor. We'll go ahead and take our right hand now and inhale, open up, and exhale, thread it under the left arm. Again, we don't want to let our right hip drop because that shoulder's on the ground. We don't want to let the right hip sink into the thigh. So you want to make sure your hips are nice and square, and that'll help keep your core engaged and give you a better twist in your spine as well. And take an inhale, and we'll go ahead and open back up. Exhale, release down to the ground, anchoring your hands into the ground. We'll go ahead and we'll drop our hips down and sink down into an extended child's pose. You can go ahead and rest your forehead on the ground for this. Or maybe you want to deepen the stretch a little bit. So you can raise your hips up, leaving your feet like they were in child's pose, but having your body in almost a downward dog kind of position. This is puppy pose. And by resting in puppy pose, it gives you a little bit more of a deeper stretch in your shoulders and your lower back than it would in child's pose. On your next inhale, we'll go ahead and anchor our hands into the ground. We'll go ahead and push ourselves up, raising into downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out your feet here just for a moment. And get a nice little stretch in the hamstrings and the back of the knees, the calves. We'll go ahead and step our way up to our hands so that we are resting in a forward fold. You can have a little bit of a bend in your knees here if that helps. We'll go ahead and walk our hands over to the left side. This feels absolutely amazing on the sides of the back. And we'll take about 2 breaths here. And we'll inhale, walk back to center. And as we exhale, go ahead and walk over to the right side. Again, we'll take 2 breaths here. Walking back to center. From here, we're going to go ahead and slowly roll ourselves up so that we will stand in Tadasana, but you really want to let your body kind of just drop, and you want to kind of sink your sit bones down as you roll yourself up, taking it nice and slow so that you feel it in your back. We'll go ahead and stand in Tadasana or mountain pose. So you want your back to be nice and straight. You want to be standing tall. You can have your hands resting at your side, or maybe you want to bring them up and interlace your fingers for a salute. Roll your shoulders back and stretch out your arms a little bit. We'll stand here for a moment, remembering to stay centered to our breath. We'll go ahead and raise our left foot up, coming into tree pose. Maybe your tree pose doesn't look like this on the first try, and that's okay. It is okay to start with your foot resting down on the outside of your right foot. You can have it resting on your calf, gently on your knee, on the side of your knee, or you can go ahead and just bring it up as high as you can go if you want to challenge yourself. Now you can bring your hands into heart center here, or if you want to test your balance a little bit, go ahead and raise your hands up high. Stand tall like a tree. Roll your shoulders back, because you don't want your arms to be sinking into your ears or pushing into your ears. You want everything to be nice and open. Take 2 breaths here. We'll go ahead and let our hands drop down slowly and slowly release the left leg, anchoring that back down into the floor. We'll go ahead and raise up the right leg. Again, maybe it doesn't look like this. Maybe it's a little harder on this side, and that's okay. Go ahead and either bring our hands to heart center or stand tall like a tree, rolling the shoulders back. Finding our balance, finding our breath. We'll sit here for about 2 breaths. As you take your next exhale, we'll go ahead and slowly release, coming back into Tadasana. We'll go ahead and bring our hands to heart center. Take a breath. Find a second to really make sure that you're bringing your heart rate down just a little bit by focusing on the breath. Go ahead and close your eyes. And take a second to rest like we did at the beginning of the practice, just to calm ourselves down. And then at the end of every practice, you can either have your hands at heart center, you can bring them up to the third eye, and seal our practice by bowing our heads down and saying namaste.